Afternoon. Today is October 13 and it's 4 p.m. And this is the INT meeting. Please call the order.
Chairperson Wani Garza.
Here.
Vice Chair Ted Masiacos.
Present.
Alderman Jonathan Nunez.
Here.
Alderwoman Shweta Bade.
Here.
Alderman at Large Keith Larson.
Here.
5 present.
Perfect. Okay, the first item in the agenda is approval of the minutes for Monday, September 22nd. And the item is 25-0755.
So moved.
Motion by Alderwoman Bate. Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Public comments?
No, we do not.
Okay. The first item in the agenda is 25-0666, a resolution requesting approval to continue with Ventec Benefits Technology of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, as the city benefits enrollment and administration software provider for 2 additional years for an amount not to exceed $137,550.
Good afternoon, Chair Garza, members of the committee, Jeff Anderson, Deputy CIO. This, as it reads, is a renewal of the software solution we used to help folks. Open enrollment's the big process coming up here in November. If any of you took benefits when you came on to council, you used Ventec to sign up for those benefits. So it's used, throughout the year as people come and go throughout the city. This represents, we had a 2-year contract before. This contract now for 2 years, this represents a 5% increase over what we've had previously for the previous 2 years.
Questions, comments? No? Okay, can I have a motion?
Motion to.
Okay, motion approved by Alderwoman Bate. Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0761, a resolution awarding H&H Electric Company the low bidder for the 2-year citywide traffic signal and street light maintenance contract.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Anderson, City Traffic Engineer. So this resolution is to award the electrical maintenance contract to H&H Electric Company. They're the low bidder. It's a 2-year contract for $1,998,801.76. The MC contract is covers the maintenance of the city's traffic signals, lighting connected to the traffic signals, and video cameras that are connected. Includes monthly inspection, and then they answer the calls for whenever there's flashing red lights, or other issues like a bulb is out, and they mark the intersections for Julie if there's construction nearby. The city partners with DuPage County, the Village of Lombard, and the City of Naperville, kind of pool our the bids in one contract, but the low bidders for each city or agency can be split out. So Meade, who was the previous or is currently under contract with the city, was a low bidder for DuPage County, but H&H was a low bidder for the municipalities. And H&H, we're trying to remember how long ago they had this contract, but they've had it before. It's 6 or 8 years, something like that. So the routine maintenance is approximately 61% of the contract amount. The remaining items are for like replacement equipment, such as loop detectors that go bad, or cameras that go bad, or other minor upgrades, and then also for repairs after knockdowns. By agreement, we maintain 27 IDOT signalized intersections, and they reimburse us for like 50% of 20 of those intersections. Some they don't reimburse us for because they're serving mostly like shopping centers or a hospital, so IDOT doesn't want to pay for those, sharing the cost of those. But then in turn, the city splits the cost with like 29 IDOT intersections, and we cut a check to IDOT. It's the staff recommends acceptance of the low bid and award the contract to H&H Electric.
Okay. Yeah, one of my questions is going to be that one. It's included when knocked down one of the poles. So they do that. It's included in the maintenance or no?
There
Just
was
some
included some
percentage.
responding pretty quickly and coming up with a makeshift solution, but then we do pay them to put up the new poles or new whatever was broken. But what's typically the case is we go after the insurance company of the person who caused the damage. So, I mean, there are a lot budgetary allowances for the knockdowns, but I think I don't have an analysis, but it looks like we get reimbursed through for most of the knockdowns, unless there's an uninsured person. But I don't have that breakdown.
Sometimes they don't have insurance, so we don't know who did it.
Right.
This is a problem.
Right.
Okay. Questions? Yes?
Thank you, Chairwoman. For my understanding, I wanted to ask you this, that who decides where to put camera enforcement?
Camera enforcement.
Yeah. Like we are
Oh, that's-
partnering with multiple cities and agencies. So if there is a photo enforced light, who gets to decide it's the right place?
I have not been involved in that. I believe it's the police have the say in that, but
Okay.
but the electrical maintenance contract does not include the video. I mean, sorry, it does not include the video enforcement or red light enforcement. It does not include that.
But all these 4 partners have access to those cameras?
No.
So if
well,
it's
the-
let me
There's,
put
red
it
light
another
cameras
way.
are separate from the other surveillance cameras. So there's the types of cameras are like, there are video detection cameras that the police and I can look at, to see, and they just detect presence in the left turn lane or through lane. It helps with the signal timing. There are pan tilt zoom cameras, which basically it's not at every intersection, but the ones that have them, it's this police or I can direct the camera to take a look at what might be going on in different directions. And then there's the red light enforcement, and that's, I don't know, around 4 intersections. I can't remember. I don't have that off.
I think 3 of them
But-
are in Ward 10.
But that's those cameras are separate. I can't even look at those. I know it's the police that review the violations and then determine whether or not the violation is valid, or they throw them, or they discard them if they see there's like a mitigating circumstance. But I can't see the red light enforcement cameras. But
Okay. And so somebody makes a call at 311 and they report that this left signal is not working. So who's responsible to fix that?
those 3011 tickets generally go to the electrical division, and he usually just passes it straight on to the to the contractor, and then the contractor's, for like an emergency, is supposed to respond within an hour. And so if it's flashing all red,
Yeah.
someone's going to call, and it's going to go through the electrical division, and they're going to say, "Yep, yep." They're going to pass it on to well, right now it'd be Mead. They'd give them a call, and then Mead shows up within within an hour. But if it's other calls, that's not like an emergency, like if someone has a complaint about the timing, they'll generally come across my desk, and I'll take a look at it. Usually I'll pass it to Mead, or I might ask a question of is it a different consultant, Iteris. They do signal support, like signal timing support, and help us alter timings. But so some calls go through me, and then it's just kind of depends on the level of emergency or level of malfunction. But generally emergency doesn't even go through me. It goes pretty quickly to the contractor.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes we get complaints about why do we have cameras at Eola and New York? So just like it's for everybody's safety. We just tell the residents, but sometimes they get the ticket and they are really upset about it. So Sometimes timing is the issue. So I think that's okay in City of Aurora, but I did hear there were some issues at the intersection of North Aurora Road and Route 59, but Aurora side, we don't have those kind of issues, but people request that they don't like the enforcement because they get the ticket at home. But it's for everybody's safety. That's why we
Yes.
have those.
That's why they're up,
So-
but I don't have any say in that. I mean, maybe they might ask me a question if they're going to put something in new, but these have been, the ones that we
Yes.
have been in a while, so I don't know the history of them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, people request to get them removed, but we just tell them it's for everybody's safety. So,
Right.
yeah.
Madam Chair, if I may, I'm not understand, maybe I'm trying to understand where the questioning is for red light cameras. The only thing I can think of, and if you can answer this, in regards to this contract, is if one of these traffic signals gets hit and there's a red light camera on it, what happens? Who's responsible for putting it all back together? 'Cause that's the only thing I can think about with red light cameras in regards to this resolution. So can you help us out with that?
I'd have to get back to you on
Yeah?
that. Sorry, I
Okay,
don't
all
know the
right.
history of the red light cameras.
All right, because that, you guys are pretty good at replacing them, these so far I've seen here around the city with the contractors that we have.
But I believe the red light cameras would be another company, but I don't know who installs them or maintains them, but I believe it's,
So that has nothing to do with this contract, it has nothing to do with the contractor, if a red light camera goes down along with a red light, I should say with a traffic signal pole, right? That would be somebody
Correct.
else who comes in and
that'd be
not this
someone else to
contract.
come in and they'd have to
Okay,
repair the
all right.
red light cameras.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Yes?
What was the length of our previous contract? with me?
2 years.
It was a 2-year one,
And it's-
too?
Yeah, it's been several cycles, it's been 2 years. I'm not sure, I didn't go back through all the cycles, but it's been generally a 2-year cycle, and that's consistent with like what I believe that's what IDOT does. I'm pretty sure that's what Kane County does.
Mhm.
I mean, I think they're on the same cycle.
Okay, so the 21% increase over the previous contract, that dates back to 2023 then?
Yes.
That's when that last
That-
one? Okay.
Yes,
Just wanted clarification on that. I appreciate it, thank you.
of course.
Okay, more questions, comments?
Motion to approve?
Okay, motion approved by Alderman Telmesiacos,
Second.
second Alderman Larson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0. Next item is 25-0770, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to award a managed security service contract to New Harbor Security, Inc., Colchester, BT, for a 3-year contract with 2 additional option years.
Good afternoon, Chair Garza, members of the committee. Mark Tagap, and Chief Information Security Officer for the City of Aurora. I bring before you this resolution to partner with New Harbor Security. They're a managed security service provider, also known as MSSP. They are a 100% US-based pure play cybersecurity firm. 3 of them are here with me, but before I hand it over to them, so Tim Devlin is here, Kyle Smith, and Eric Mueller. But just want to really reiterate and make it known that it's imperative that the City of Aurora continues to have a strong and resilient cybersecurity program. As we continue to expand online services for our residents, such as the tax payments, permits, water, and 911 systems, the risk of disruption from cybersecurity breaches, such as the phishing and ransomware, they're growing sharply, right? A single attack could shut down essential services, compromise sensitive data, and quite honestly, and maybe even more important, is erode the public trust. And partnering with New Harbor will provide continuous 24/7 monitoring, rapid threat detection, and incident response expertise. With the advanced tools and dedicated analysts, New Harbor will help the City of Aurora defend our critical infrastructure, reduce the risk, and strengthen our limited budget further. And I just want to give you, before I hand it over, just a summary of the process. We started, defining our requirements and timeline in end of June, beginning of July. And then we went ahead and on July 14th, sent a solicitation for the RFP, went public, with August 6th being the deadline for submission. That's about 3.5 weeks. And then we received 21 responses, all very impressive. We narrowed it down to 11, and then narrowed it down even further to 6. And then finally, we had a top 3. We met, let me take a step back. We met with those, after 21 narrowed it to 11, we met each of those MSSPs for 1 hour for that entire week. And like I mentioned, we narrowed it to 6, and then finally the top 3. And then those top 3 went, had another final presentation, and then sharpening their pencil, and that was about an hour and 15 minutes. And then obviously we had a unanimous decision with New Harbor Security, and I'll have them come up.
You could control it, because I'll just do the slide and I'll turn it over to Kyle. My name is Tim Devlin. Thank you for having us today. I am from Geneva, Illinois, just down the street. I'm one of 4 people who head up the New Harbor Security Company, along with Justin, our CEO, Jack, and Rupal, our CFO. I want to give you just a little bit of information about who we are as a company, what we care about, and why we think we're here today for your consideration. And then I'll turn it over to Kyle to go more deeply into the services and the offering and what we put in place for the city of Aurora. We are a pure play cybersecurity company. We've been in business for 11 years. We're founded by Justin Fimlade, who was a CISO practitioner for many, many years, who had a dream to start his own company to be able to do things that no other cybersecurity company was really doing. That being build a company tailor-made for state, local government, higher education, utilities, and the public sector. The people who are doing good for others, we feel like we want to be those good people doing good for those who are doing good for others. It's how our CEO is wired. It's why he does this for a living, and what he puts into place across every corner of our organization. We are pretty big, about 160 employees right now that we span across the country. As Mark said, we are 100% US based, only supporting companies in this country. So we really work hard to support our 4 target markets across the country. We are headquartered in Vermont with 2 different locations, one in Colchester and one in Burlington proper. The Burlington one is very interesting because it's our first opportunity to partner with a local college called the College of Champlain, where we've built an innovative center where all of the students who are practicing cybersecurity as a major actually work and understand how to do cybersecurity through our company. We're going to try to carry that through to Chicago and Honolulu as our next stops, because we have a dream of being on every shore within the country, from Vermont to Chicago all the way to Honolulu. Kyle could take you through exactly what the program is that we want to put in place with the city of Aurora, but on behalf of the company, it's an honor to be down selected from 21 down to 1. Thank you for your consideration, and I'll turn it over to Kyle.
Thanks, Mark. Hello, I'm Kyle. Just wanted to quickly kind of talk through sort of how we think about services. So at the center is you and your mission. At the end of the day, it's keeping your constituents with the access to what they need. Layered on top of that are the priorities that you have, the priorities that Mark has. So making sure we can look for breaches, making sure we can find weaknesses, identify the gaps, provide remediation advice so you can stay ahead of those gaps. Layered on that are the services that we can offer, whether it's 24/7 managed security services, like we're talking about today, virtual CISO services, where we're bringing in expertise to help advise the team, advisory, IR, vulnerability management. Again, we cover the spectrum. One of the big advantages of that is when something does go bump in the night, because this is cyber, it will go bump in the night, we have expertise across all the different disciplines that we support to bring to bear for the city. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is get you guys the outcomes you care about. Provide Mark and team the metrics they need to make the right investments and make the right recommendations to you all. Also to provide the constituents with the trust of that the network is going to be up when they need it. I think one of the things that sets us apart is we plug into your mission, not the other way around. I think our focus on public sector is exactly why we're able to do this. If you want to jump slides for me. So as Tim talked about, we are focused on sort of public sector. We are working with municipalities that are significantly smaller than Aurora, municipalities significantly bigger than Aurora, as well as state and local governments across the country. This is one example of a city with about 1 million residents in it, 3,000 employees. We came in and sat down with them. They had a fractured cybersecurity program, not anywhere near as mature as what Mark has built here. They had slow and consistent incident response, identifying large dwell times, et cetera. We were able to come in, help them deploy their security incident and event management platform, Microsoft Sentinel, help them get that up and running, build a coverage model that was 24/7 so that you all can sleep at night knowing someone's watching, helping them integrating their identity, their network traffic, all of their IoT, all into that model so you can build that overall thing. And now we're helping with them with basically looking to expand that coverage beyond to all additional connected systems, things like cameras, et cetera, as well as evaluating and implementing ways to help them optimize what they're spending. So this particular municipality is actually looking to maybe bring in a couple of different SIM technologies and offset costs that way. We also work, again, I said, with states, so working with states. Mark got a chance to talk to some references of ours across the board there. So we've got a pretty extensive experience.
And then these last two slides, you have them in your packet. I just grabbed these just for the sake of kind of let you guys know the negotiations. So, you know, the first item there was the final original final quote. We just wanted to, again, this was part of the last set of meetings with New Harbor. So it covers all the core services. So that was slightly north of $1 million for the 3-year. So this contract's a 3-year contract with options for the 4th and the 5th. So at the end of the day, 5 years if everything goes great. And then the final pricing, you know, they were able to sharpen their pens. There's a couple of things I want to just highlight, right? It's just the security training platform. We've taken that out as well as Keeper, and we're going to deal directly with KnowBe4 and Keeper, just because, you know, what we've learned is we don't need the middleman to make sure to really to work with the platform. And then so we'll come back later on to present those two items. We just wanted to focus on the MSSP selection. And then, I mean, really that's it. Is there any initial questions right now? Oh, yeah, sure.
So this is Ram Tyagi, CIO here. So in last few years, we have learned a lot. You know, how do we need to define our security architecture, and you know, where are the room for improvements? And this was the opportunity to bring that efficiency into our architecture and also into our cost. So when we went into this RFP, you know, we got really good mix of candidates, and those 11, all of them were amazing. So it was a good problem to have, you know, to select the final one. So the criteria that we had in mind that, you know, we need to have good breadth and depth into the security management, identification, detection, and mitigation, round-the-clock service, but having that experience around the government services, municipalities, similar to our size, because we have different kind of problems than they have been solving for the private sector, where I come from. So definitely, you know, these all three finalists brought that. But with New Harbor, we saw, like, you know, they are dealing with similar kind of problems that our side of the city facing, and whether it's a police, IoTs, it's a water, or any kind of similar architecture or similar infrastructure that those cities have. So that was one parameter, having that kind of experience. And the second parameter, of course, was the functionality. and their CEO who brings a lot of passion into the security. So the kind of tools and architecture they bring, so when we migrate or when we transfer the data, from our current provider to them, it's not a big hiccup. So that was another parameter for us, that we don't want to change our architecture significantly. We cannot talk about the architecture here, but happy to answer offline any questions, given the security concerns around that. So that was another priority. And the third parameter was obviously cost. Getting the services in efficient and optimal manner on the right cost structure. We did a lot of internal analysis on that, and also reviewing cost from other vendors. We found New Harbor definitely kind of was on top of the list, given all those parameters. And then the last is, I think we talked about the references that they brought to us. Mark and myself and others like Jeff, we spoke to each of those references, and it looks like I think we are making a right choice here.
Comments, questions? Yes?
Question for this side, and then maybe they can answer too. So what sort of, without going into detail because we can't really speak much of the nature, but what sort of vulnerability assessments have we done, and how does that relate to the potential penetration analysis that they will be doing, and how do we expect them to match up?
Yeah, so we have several reports from our past vulnerability assessments, right, that the plan is to not show them, and I'm going to have them do their own assessment for that first year, as well as a penetration testing for that first year, both an internal and external penetration testing. And then based on those findings, we'll have a risk register, and then they'll provide us with those findings. So we can close the gap from the previous ones, as well as the ones that they found.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
More questions? Yes?
Yeah, thank you. I guess also related to the penetration testing, was that included in the previous contract with Data Defenders?
Yeah, so that was more of an a la carte. So the plan moving forward is it's recommended to have one penetration testing a year, right? So obviously, this first time will be New Harbor really confirming how strong Data Defenders was. In 2027 and subsequent years, we'll have another firm confirm what they've done. So yeah, I mean, so this in the first year, it does have the penetration testing, but the subsequent one, we'll have to bring that up to you as well, because we don't know who the partner will be to do the pen test. And as far as the initial question, I don't think the Data Defenders, that was, that was part of the bucket, but sometimes we never even use that budgeted, I guess, item within their scope of work. So.
Okay, and then I guess my other question about how we're going to separately purchase the password manager and security training.
Yes.
Was that also something that we got through Data Defenders previously, and now we're just going to do that on our own?
Yeah. So both of those were part of Data Defenders services. However, we have talked with both KnowBe4 and Keeper. They're going to give us the same pricing, but they're obviously we're no longer going to get charged hours that Data Defenders would provide, because we, like I said earlier, like these past 2 years, we know what we're doing and how to go about doing the same services. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So that sort of accounts. Because I was looking at the Data Defenders contract, and that was a higher cost. So that's part of the reason why this is a lower cost. But
slightly. Yeah. Because it's like, what, 50,000 less, but what we won't have, because everything's included in this new one, is the a la carte services, and there's other another item in there as well that we extracted out just because we're taking a different approach on it. We're still covering all aspects, but just a different approach on how to resolve those.
I can just like put some more lights into it. So if you see the functional scope of this RFP and see what Data Defender provides, we have identification, detection, and mitigation and SOC support, 24/7 support, as well as the MDR and other things, right? So that's like one area of the scope, which is around the vulnerability detection, etc. And there is another area is sort of password security and trainings, etc. Right? And third one was like, we had this special browser called Island. So what we have done as part of this exercise that we are trying to optimize, as I said, our architecture, and we are trying to differentiate everything. Earlier, everything was happening through Data Defender because we were getting mature as an organization. And now we have a CISO and a security organization, so we decided to keep certain things internally and manage directly. So Keeper and KnowBe4, as Mark said, will come again, but we were getting through Data Defender as they were reselling it from the KnowBe4 and Keeper themselves. We're gonna directly deal with them. Obviously, we're not gonna save much cost there because we'll see, but it's gonna be almost like same. The Island browser, now what we have seen in last few years, the browsers from Microsoft and Google, they have improved the security, so we don't need a specific browser anymore. So in quest of the cost optimization, we decided to discontinue that browser starting soon, I guess, January 1st, until their contract is there, we will use them. But we don't need to spend that money, so that item will discontinue. But if you see all these buckets, so the training and the Keeper will remain same. Island browser will discontinue and will save that. But if you see the functional scope on the managed service provider, we are still saving a lot of money there if we compare apple to apple.
Thank you.
Yes?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I had a quick question. If we take other vendor, like in Balance IT Solution, they gave a fixed and lower price, but here we have a range. So north of 1 million, why don't we have a fixed price? Are we going to add some things, or is there contingency? Why is there a range from 0.7 to $1.1 million?
I think the price is fixed on this one as well. The only variable we have on the pen testing and the architecture review, which is only in the first year. So we want to have the architecture review done in the year 1 because we want to make sure they understand our architecture, and we also find the gaps, any gaps that we have. So more like a gap analysis. And then also we have the pen testing, as Mark explained. We want them to do the pen test in the year 1, so they identify the gaps. We don't need to have the architecture review in the year 2 and 3. So we gonna reduce that cost from year 1 as we go into year 2. And also the pen test, we cannot remove that cost. We want to do the pen test every year. But we will do with other vendor. So year 1, they're gonna do our pen testing, and year 2 and 3 will hire some other vendor.
So for year 1, there is a range. For year 2 and 3, it's fixed.
Yes. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I was reading through the marketplace document, and it shows that there's a range, and it didn't show year 1,
the
2,
range is
3.
there because of the
Can
pen
we-
test and the architecture review, depending on. But I think we cannot go beyond what we have provided here. So
Okay.
we will. Our budget is fixed on year 1 as well.
Okay,
Yes.
so can we split and say year 1 this much?
I think we have done
year
it, right?
2 and 3.
Yeah.
We can fix. So you
Please
want
add
year
that.
1 just
In the memo, we can add.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Year 1,
We can
2,
add
3.
that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
455 and all that.
Yes?
Yeah.
Alderman Mesiacos?
Yeah, Madam Chair, thank you. It sounds like we have another firm that knows what it's doing. The previous firm, Data Defenders, 5 years ago, contract worth $1.6 million. I hear a potential 5-year contract that's valued at approximately 1.46 million. Seems like it's going financially in a positive direction for the taxpayer, which is good to see. Just real quick, can you explain to continue? Is there going to be any concern with the transition from data defenders to this new vendor?
No, there won't be any issues. The goal is
Or
to
challenges, let me put it that way. I don't wanna say issues.
just to latch on to so their platform, without getting too in depth, their platform to our platform, latching that on, it will take probably a day, 2 days, and then the longest part of it is the learning process within our environment. As far as working with our incumbent,
Okay.
that won't be an issue.
And staff outside your department is not going to notice anything drastic or?
Oh, no.
So
It's all
seamless to the end user.
Right,
in
because
terms
we're
of
gonna-
knowing that you have security.
Yeah, we're going to be using basically the same endpoint detection. So yeah, there won't be, they won't notice anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add again, Ram Tyagi, CIO here. So, as I said, like one of the parameter was we did not want to change our architecture. Different vendors, they bring their own different architectures, and we wanted to remain on where we are. Obviously, we want to add on top of that. So that's another beauty of this transition, that the migration would be very easy, very seamless. It won't be visible to any employees or anyone. We will remain where we are currently.
Okay. And then just for clarification, I think the questions my colleagues here at the dais asked and your response, I think, pretty much clarified it, but I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. Mr. Taghap, you made a comment, no need for middleman to perform with the platform. And yet, that has nothing to do with the testing, correct? Penetration testing?
That's correct. So
Okay.
what I meant by that was more on the security awareness training platform in KnowBe4, and then the password management vault in Keeper.
Okay, all right.
Just those two.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. And my next question is pretty much, are we still working with Marketplace City?
We are.
Obviously,
They helped
right.
us collaborate with this.
And we're
this
planning on
program.
moving forward with our relationship with Marketplace City?
So these are two different things in my view. Marketplace City is more on procurement, vendor analysis, helping us sort of go through this process. So I think as of this point, on this one, we did work with them, yes.
Okay, maybe that's not a question for you then. Maybe it's somebody from third
Yes,
floor.
it is more
could answer
for,
that question in regards to whether we're going to continue with that contract or
Us
not,
and
'cause there was
finance
a-
both, yeah.
There was some dialogue that happened earlier this year in regards to Marketplace City and continue to utilize them or not.
As
as
of
well.
this point, we are working with them.
All right, apparently so. I just want to know if we're going to continue working with them. Seems like staff's not going to come up here and express any thoughts on that right now, but maybe we'll do it over the budget
Yeah,
conversational
we
pieces here.
have Shannon
forward.
coming and probably explain.
Shannon Cameron, Chief of Staff. We are planning to continue with Marketplace City. Yes.
So we're going to hold their contract that was approved not too long ago, the last city council. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. No, I have nothing else to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Madam Chair.
for all the great questions. Appreciate it.
Another question? Yeah.
Oh, one more, okay.
Regarding the physical asset protection that's in the contract itself, is that it for existing equipment that we have, existing assets that we have, or after this penetration analysis, is there potential for new physical assets to be purchased by the city later down the road?
Number of devices, IoTs and all that, if we add more. So
Okay.
this covers for everything that we will plan to add in future as well.
Existing and then anything that might potentially
Yes.
come forward after that analysis?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
More questions, comments? Okay. Can I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Okay, motion Alderman Telmesiacos,
Second.
Second, Alderwoman Bate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0796, a resolution requesting approval of 1-year renewal agreement with Absolute Software, Inc., settled for virtual private network software for an amount not to exceed $102,920.00.
Good afternoon again, Chair Garza, Jeff Anderson, Deputy CIO. This is a renewal of the virtual private network, or VPN software we've had now for 3 years. We're asking for 1 more year here from Absolute now. Absolute purchased NetMotion during the time frame we had the NetMotion solution. So that's why, if you remember back, the name has changed. And we tested another VPN as part of this during this year, but Absolute is purpose-built for mobile vehicles. So if you're driving around, you can have somebody when you go from cell tower to cell tower, you can ask that person to repeat what happened, they just said, because you didn't hear them, right? You went from cell tower. We've all had that happen. Applications have a difficult time with that. So what NetMotion does is provide that application persistence, so the application doesn't see that happen. So the pricing here is exactly the same as we had the previous 3 years. So there's no increase there. The increase you'll see in the fee here we're asking for is for new administrative training for our own staff to learn the new features they've rolled out in the last 3 years.
Okay. Questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes?
Thank you. Yeah, so is this primarily for like police and fire, if you're talking about, mobile vehicles?
Yeah, any of our mobile vehicles. As we continue to roll out, and Mark touched on it, as we continue to roll out more and more services that are mobile, we can point to some we're putting out in Public Works now too. What they're out in vehicles too, where they're dispatched from one location to another while they're moving around. That could come into play as well. But yes, primarily, this application was built for public safety.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and I see the quantity of, I guess, licenses is 1,200. I assume that's the same, given that the price is the same. Yeah, for the bulk of it, the 97,920.
Yeah, and those end up being devices, which is generally 1-to-1 per employee. I think there's some folks have multiple devices, but that's the number we've stayed under pretty easily. Just back to your other question you did ask, some of the CAD systems in particular are very chatty back and forth to the home base of where's the vehicle, where are you at, those kinds of things. So having that persistence is what's really necessary for the public safety apps.
Mm-hmm. And one other question about that extra 5,000 for the training. I see the quantity, it says 20. Is this like a number of people who will be doing training to city staff? Or?
So this will be IT staff. So this is to administer the product itself. One of the things that I've always pushed for us to use, which came out again as advanced, will show us where, like, for example, where cellular dead zones are within the city. So we can go back and press on our cell phone carriers, where our issues are there. So it's more for the administrative side. The beautiful thing about the way NetMotion works is it's always on, and it only connects when you're off the network. You don't even know that it's running. I can imagine, Alderman, you probably checked down there and seen the little M with the green dot on it, know you're connected, but most folks haven't. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
More questions, comments? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved, Alderman Telmesiacos. Second, Alderwoman Bate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. No other item in this agenda?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Sura Bate. Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion the meeting at 4:44 p.m. Thank you very much.